covered. The desert sighs in the bed, and the crack in the teacup opens a door to the land of the dead. The way to get the hallucinations going is to close your eyes, but look at the back of your eyelids with the expectation that you're going to see something.
To bring back an impression, so you have to, make very elaborate metaphors or find ways of treating perception or being visual. Because that's the other way to bring back an impression. Your language is utterly without dimension. That's what they're saying. Approaches a certain level of fractal hyperdimensionality, and then it can go no further. It can't formally translate itself into objectivity. It's more constrained than we had supposed. And that's why history's vicissitudes, while they provoke great anguish and soul-searching, are ultimately oscillations in a system which preserves appetite for transcendence. An organism is a lower dimensional description of the phenomenon we call time. And in fact, the mushroom said this to me once. What it said was time travel is possible into the future, and time travel is possible into the past, but only as far into the past as the invention of the first time machine.
Terence, you said that shamanism is about show business. Are you into show business?
Well, I am into show business, but I'm not a shaman. I'm in a slightly more modest branch of show business.
Sex, drugs, rock and roll?
And education. My life is like science fiction. I feel, I don't know, the word trapped is slightly paranoid, but I feel enclosed within something like a Philip K. Dick novel, because there's a level of plottedness that would alarm a paranoid person. In other words, it seems to be the unfolding of a literary structure. I think as you approach enlightenment, you become a linguistic black hole. And when you're finally enlightened, nobody can understand you at all because you have curved the continuum back around yourself. The fact that I make my living having people understand me convinces me I'm far from enlightenment. And the fact that it would destroy my income-producing ability to even approach it.
But beyond the psychedelic visions and entertaining anecdotes, there is a wisdom.
From the platform of a human birth, by the application of right method, whatever that is, one can, in a single lifetime, attain enlightenment. My belief is in communication. The psychedelic thing is a subset. If we can communicate with each other, we can feel each other. And it's the absence of feeling in modernity that has permitted its inhumanity. If we could each feel our role in the destruction of the earth, the destruction of the earth would be canceled automatically. But between ourselves and our feelings, there are levels and levels of rationalization, ideological justification, historical justification, and sheer appeal to our lesser appetites. We want a Mercedes, we want a house in the country. We agree not everybody can have these things, but we somehow feel worthy. So this boundary dissolution, in my mind, this is a really key concept that we should entertain throughout time together, that we are trying to dissolve boundaries. politically, socially, sexually, economically, intellectually. We're trying to dissolve the boundaries we hate and the boundaries that we cling to. This is the great work of the age now, the dissolving of boundaries, and nothing is so effective for doing that on a personal and immediate level than psychedelics. An assumption into the light. So the thing is not, to take every drug that exists, but to, by a process of sort of being wooed and seduced and seducing yourself, finding out what works for you. I'm into a kind of almost chip on your shoulder self-reliance. I think people should figure things out for themselves. I think nobody is smarter than you, and even if they are, what good is it doing? So gurus and at a distance explanations and so forth. A phrase you'll hear me use over and over again is the felt presence of immediate experience. It's actually all you've got. I spent a lot of time, probably 100 times, leaving cannabis aside. I probably spent 100 times more time unstoned, considering what the last time being stoned meant, than stoned. I mean, I regard these things like shamanic journeys, and the idea is to get in there, rescue the pearl of immortality from the dragon's claw, and get out, and throw the money on the floor, and while they're all fighting over it, back out and make your escape. One of the things you might say facetiously about psychedelics is that they're an aging hormone, because they smarten you up in a hurry, I think. The stance of seeking is so easy. Facing answers is an entirely different kind of situation. As with psychedelics, what people come to become very interested in is, where are the brakes, please? How do we slow this down? How do we keep it from going over the edge? How do we keep it from terrifying and controlling?
Terence, what advice would you give young South Africans?
Educate yourself. Part of what has poisoned the debate on drugs is the fact that the word is too broadly applied. We need to